Hey guys, it's Paul here from the MageCloud, and today's session we're gonna talk to you about like best practices for the Magento cloud hosting infrastructure. We have a special guest, Igor, from sunny San Diego, and so hopefully that session will be useful not just for the business owners but also for like developers and the entire Magento community. The reason why we started this session is just because we find out there's a lot of noise about like Magento Cloud, about like performance of the Magento, etc. So like that type of tweets that's happening like from time to time, and basically that's the reason why we want to make sure that we provide like our ideas, how to handle Magento, how to organize the clouds. Why we can speak about that is just because, you know, MageCloud is actually a technical partner of Google Cloud, technical partner of Amazon AWS as well for years. So, you know, Igor, who's a Magento Cloud architect, and he's doing like cloud infrastructure setup for many projects, high load. He's working with Magento to optimization. Really a real speaker. I mean, if you follow him on LinkedIn, you will see a lot of different articles. Follow him on the Medium as well. So basically, I just, you know, don't want to waste too much of your time. Igor, welcome. Thank you for, thank you for joining us. And eventually, please go ahead. Audience is yours.
Thank you, Paul, for inviting me. Let me show you how to build a good cloud for Magento using the best cloud practices. First of all, I will tell you about this repo. It's
just share your screen, please.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. I would like to show this repo. It's my project. It's Terraform Magento Cloud Infrastructure. It's a provisioning script for provisioning Magento Cloud for AWS. I will show how it works, and also I will show you best practices for Magento. Let's start. The standard Magento infrastructure usually has just one instance of web node. Like this. We will use CloudCraft. It's a really good tools for planning infrastructure and for cost optimization. For example, you can see price of this instance, C5, and price in different regions. For example, for Oregon region, it will be cheaper, and it's really good because it's difficult in AWS to understand price for instances and for resources. Yeah, and regularly Magento has single instance with, for example, 4 cores like this. Yeah, and with the time, traffic grow and you need more resources, and you can have bigger instance, but it doesn't work well, unfortunately. To build infrastructure for high load, you need separate different services from the single box to different servers. And the better way to do this is to add database. Using AWS, you can easily add new database using RDS service. MySQL. It will be our database, and we can also check price for this database. It will cost $170, but it has a lot of memory. For a smaller project, you can use smaller instance. For example, this one, M5, good instance for small project. And with the times, what is the base math for Magento? One CPU can handle one simultaneous request and one cron. For example, if you have a lot of users per second, and high concurrency, a lot of checkouts, you need more computing resources, and you need to add auto scaling to extend resources. And we can add auto scaling here. But with auto scaling, we need to add load balancer, because with auto scaling we have two instances, two or more. Yeah, now we're having 3 instances, and we can have a smaller size of instance, of single instance, but we will have more resources. Now we have 12 CPUs. It's equal to Magento cloud infrastructure. But what's the problem with Magento? Magento has, basically this, if remove database from here, it will be Magento cloud, just without just everything in single instance. And when you are using database, Redis, and and PHP on the same instances, it uses a lot of resources, and during the high concurrency, performance not the best. Yeah, and let's start to build our cloud, and this again our database. But for auto scaling, we also need elastic cache, Redis. We need also Redis. One moment, yeah, it has this element. We have MySQL, and Redis for persistent data storage. We're having this. Yeah, it's basically our small cloud. Also, we need elastic load balancer of type application, and yeah, it will be our small cloud for Magento. And we can also add it like this. All instances will have connection to Redis and MySQL, and also we need shared file storage for media folder. We will use EFS, it's Elastic File System from Amazon. We can check how much it costs. The main problem with EFS, it has limits, throughput limits. Like when you're using a lot of traffic and a lot of images, you will have minimum throughput, 500 kilobytes per second. It's speed of floppy drive. It's really slow, but you can buy provision speed throughput, and you can buy 10 megabytes per second or different throughput. Or if you have not so much traffic, you can use burstable type. Yeah, and we can check, for example, we have 100 gigabytes of media. It will cost $30. But unfortunately, this Cloudcraft has some bug and it doesn't show me price of throughput. Throughput costs $6 per 1 megabyte, and it will be additional approximately $60. $90 will cost of EFS. It's a little bit expensive, but for big project, maybe not. A small project doesn't need so many gigabytes and throughputs. Yeah, it's our elastic load balancer. We can also add proxy with a cache with a varnish. Yeah, it's a standard Magento solution and recommendation to use varnish. For me, it's legacy, and varnish it's not good solution for Magento and for any web application. Let's add varnish. We need auto scaling group for varnish and EC2 instance for varnish. We need some type of instance with bigger memory. We will use R type instance. R5, yeah, it has 16 gigabytes. Yeah, this type of instance. It's our varnish. But for varnish, we need SSL termination. You can do on this instance, install Nginx and SSL termination proxy, but it's not a cloud solution. For cloud, you need to add additional load balancer. It's better than manage your own varnish. This load balancer will have SSL termination here, and also you can manage rules. For example, you can bypass something around varnish directly to web nodes. You can manage your rules better with elastic balancer, elastic load balancer, and yeah, it's a pretty good infrastructure for Magento. Yeah, better than Magento Cloud. But Magento Cloud has a good solution. They are using Fastly as varnish. And when you're using varnish in your infrastructure will be a little bit difficult to manage and to build. What you have with varnish and without varnish, it's much better. Yeah, and if to add Fastly, you will have CDN and cache in without additional complexity. And varnish itself will cost for you $90 plus 20. It will be around $110 just for varnish instance. But you can pay the same money for Fastly. You will have, and you will have better service than you will manage your own varnish. But my solution is to have cache on each web node, and you will have better performance than regular varnish. Varnish is not scalable, especially community open source edition. You need to have enterprise. If you have one varnish. It's always one. If you add in another varnish, it's adding complexity to manage this infrastructure and synchronize these two instances. For example, if visitors came to hit this instance and this instance doesn't have cache, you should make bypass to another instance and check cache here. If you don't have cache on both or three varnish instance, you need to go to your infrastructure to load balancer and generate it from web nodes on web nodes. But the best solution is to use cache on each instance with auto scaling of your web nodes. You will also scale cache. Magento standard PHP cache, good for small clients, but for better clients, for bigger clients, it's better to use optimized cache for Magento and have it on each instance. Okay, and let me show how to create infrastructure like this using my tool. First, my project, open source project, you can just clone it and create this infrastructure without without doing it manually. You can clone my repo. I'm using Ubuntu and I have terminal. Let's create a new directory for this test. Yeah, let's clone it. Oh, yeah, we have our infrastructure. Cloud. For my project, I use Terraform and Terraform. And if you will read documentation, for example, we have production infrastructure, but you can easily copy, just copy folder and modify the scripts inside. Basically, it's mostly like size of the instances, name of the instances. For example, this our database, it has description what we will run. This one is instance size, and you can modify it for staging infrastructure. Just copy folders. Yeah, it's really easy with this infrastructure manage and create new AWS resources. Let's continue. Yeah, we have our production, and by following my manual, you can find it here in README file. You need to install Terraform and Terragrund. I have special script. You can just run it. This one. I'm already having Terraform and Terragrund, and I will not install it. But after, we need create credentials for AWS. Let's do it. Yeah, I will use US West 1 region. But to find credential, you need to go into AWS console, go to my security credentials, select access keys, and create new key. one moment, let's do it again. Okay, create. Yeah, it's showing for us access key and security key, and secret key, and we need. Let's add it here. We need to add both of them. One and second one. One and okay, we're here, and what do we need to do next? We need just run Terragrunt apply all, and it will apply all infrastructure in one run. Let me show a little bit file structure of this project. It has several folders, and each folder is responsible for each infrastructure element. For example, database, load balancer, auto scaling, instance. We have this varnish load balancer. Also, we having a lot of security groups for AWS. Also, varnish proxy after scaling group, VPC, Magento Cloud, it's our VPC, and running Magento Terragrunt apply all. It will apply all these elements to AWS, create all these elements in AWS. Let's check my region, West, and check how what I'm having here. It should be without any resources. Yeah, we are having here 0 instances and 0 databases. Yeah, 0 databases, and let's apply my script. Terragrunt apply all. Yeah, it asking 2 questions. Do you want to apply for each folder? Yes, and it also creates a S3 bucket to manage states. Also, yes. Yeah, and we have approximately 15 minutes to talk about cloud, because provisioning takes a little bit of time. Let me also tell, for big project with auto scaling, you will have problem with crons, and with sometimes with admin traffic, you need different permission for web nodes, for admin nodes, and it's better to separate admin traffic backend from regular web nodes, and you need to add separate auto scaling group just for admin users and crons. I prefer to use C5 instance. It's instance with the good CPU, and it's really fast and generate pages for Magento faster than, for example, M instances. Yeah, it's our admin web nodes. And you can restrict, you can have separate security group for this instance, and also you can restrict access to this instance, and run crons only here, and you will not have any problems with running cron on multiple instances. Let's check what we're having. Yeah, it's still running, this infrastructure. Paul, do you have any question? Maybe I can.
I have
Yeah.
a lot of questions. Let's go back to the schema that you just created.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, again, so I'm I'm trying to explain this to all of the merchants who's probably will be seeing this video. So eventually, it's from what I understand, like when we start the project, like typical companies, like I don't know, SiteGround, etc. They pretty much hosting everything on one single server. But your suggestions for the auto scaling, we will launch like a first like EC2 instance, which you just mentioned, web node that will handle all of our incoming traffic. Then we will have a separate one for database. Then we will have another stuff for the Redis cache. So basically in Redis, we will be storing like a session of our users, right?
Yeah, you will store session and cache caches and full page caches in Redis. Yeah. Let me describe a little bit this infrastructure for auto scaling, but for example, some clients doesn't need all, like maybe 80 percent of the clients doesn't need auto scaling. Auto scale adds a lot of issues and complexities to hosting, because now you are having problems with log management. Yeah, you can use CloudWatch. It's really good solution from AWS, or some custom tools to manage logs. Also, you will have problems with deployment, because now you need deploy not to single instance, you need deploy to several instances, and with different configuration. You need to have some automated CI/CD, continuous integration and deployment tool. But a small client, for example, with 10 requests per second, this infrastructure is for clients with like hundreds requests per second. And from 100 to 1000. Yeah, I made performance test of this infrastructure, and it can handle with disabled full page cache 3000 requests per second for product page, like for without any caches, without full page cache, with all caches but without full page cache, because basically to measure full page cache performance, it's not right. You should know how much real traffic you can handle, real checkouts, like page generation time. You need to load your servers. And during 3000 visitors, I have loaded approximately 20%. But main problem with high traffic you will have in MySQL and Redis level, because web nodes easy to scale. You need to optimize this part of infrastructure, and small clients regularly needs just instance with approximately 8 CPUs. It's really good, a lot of resources, 8 CPUs can handle like 20 requests per second. But it also depends from customization. You need to have good Magento code base on these instances, because even with auto scaling, yeah, it will help you, but auto scaling doesn't improve response time. It's just improve throughput of the web render.
Scalability.
Yeah. How many clients you can, how many users, customers you can handle in the same time? It's really necessary during Black Friday and Christmas. During high traffic, you need to handle like thousands of requests per second. RDS, regular clients need just this, and client doesn't need Redis, because if you don't have auto scaling, you don't need to separate Redis from the main instance, and infrastructure will work faster. Page rendering will be faster because you can set up Redis as a socket without network overhead, and it will be cheaper. This instance cost $80, but basically you can have it on the same instance. But to have database, it's not good, because you never see like real performance problems, because when you're separating instances, you also have performance monitoring and management of this instance separately, and you can check like load on this instance. You can see, okay, I have like, for example, 80% load on a web instance, but I have 20 per RDS, per MySQL, and then you need scale web nodes. It's easy to manage, and it's also easy to scale vertically. For example, when you like to scale web nodes, you need just change size of your instance, but it will cost more. Yeah, it for example, for Black Friday or during high traffic, you can scale it to 96 virtual CPUs. AWS provides these features. It's really a good cloud provider. It's the best. I love AWS. And for example, with this configuration, you will have problems this in database, because we are having small database, and you also can scale it to 8 CPUs, for example, or to the same 96 CPUs, but cost will be a lot. Yeah. Cost really big for this, but
so what you are saying right now on this particular schema, like the right side of it was auto scaling. It's actually to handle like thousands of the requests per second. The one that
no, hundreds. Let's stop on hundreds.
Okay, hundreds.
Because,
the one you are showing here on the left was just a web instance, then database service, and then probably is it good to say that even like for the normal websites, it's better to split the admin instance as well?
Yeah, it's better to split admin instance. If you have a lot of cron jobs, it's better to split admin, because let me show you. You can optimize cost
Excuse me. What I'm trying to share with our guest is like one infrastructure that's on the right, so we can calculate the cost, let's say, and then create a very simple one which we can recommend to basically to any websites, which is like, I don't know, 100,000 of traffic per month, 200,000 of traffic per month. That's type of the stuff. So we can also give them kind of the cost, because with Magento Cloud they have to pay, if I recall correctly, it's about 2,500 per month. So I want to kind of highlight them, what's the other options they have and how much they can save, and still be, and still like perform better and be prepared for the truck.
Yeah, let's calculate it. Let's check our infrastructure. Yeah, infrastructure ready. It takes 47. It's a lot of logs here. 40. It starts. 7 minutes to start big infrastructure. And let's check our RDS first. Our AWS. Oh, it's Virginia. I need California, North California, and now we are having RDS instance. And let me show. When you have RDS, you can monitor your infrastructure by levels, by services. For example, when you have traffic, you can see CPU utilization. CPU utilization. Also, you can check more metrics. RDS doesn't have a lot of metrics, but Amazon Aurora, it costs more, but it has like metrics, numbers of queries per second. It's really good database, MySQL Aurora, and you can use auto scaling Aurora. It's serverless Aurora DB. We can check. We have it here. It's Aurora MySQL, and here it's serverless. And for example, for small website, you can select minimum capacity 2. It will cost $80 per month, but during the high traffic, it will automatically scales. Like, it's a really interesting part of AWS, this serverless Aurora. It doesn't scale only read replicas like classic Aurora. This scales main instance, like scales master instance, and not only read application, read database. And you can scale it to 64. It costs a little bit more, but you pay only during when you are using it. It's also good point for cost optimization, because for example, for small website, just maybe 300 products or thousands products, this database with minimum capacity 1 will be enough. You will pay only $43, and during high traffic it will scales, and you can also automatically scale it. For example, if you have Black Friday, okay, tomorrow I will have more traffic, I can scale it manually to bigger capacity, and don't rely on auto scaling. All auto scalings has some problems, like it doesn't resolve all problems. It just helps and resolve some problems, because auto scaling, it's not like instant. You need 5-10 minutes per to add new instance, and during this time, if you have high traffic, you will have a little bit slowdown of your system. Response time will drop. Okay, let's check our infrastructure. We have RDS, and let's go and check our load balancer. We have 3 instances. It's biggest infrastructure. You can modify it and remove unnecessary levels. We have admin web nodes, we have web node, and we have varnish cache proxy, R5 instance, and also we have load balancer here. We have varnish load balancer and web nodes load balancer, like all infrastructure ready, but this one just instances. You need properly install Magento on these web nodes. It's not difficult, because you can just create one base image. It's like a container for Magento, and during new infrastructure provisioning, you can use already prepared instance with Magento, and you don't need to manage and install Magento code base again and again. Yeah, basically it works, right? What do you think about this tool? How you can run Magento Cloud in 7 minutes?
Yeah, so let's I just really want to come back a little bit to the schema with the pricing. Like let's imagine, like I will be pretty straightforward. I'm a business. I have 10,000 SKUs. My traffic, it's about 300,000 visitors per month, right? I have no idea how much is per second, but like you've got an idea. Can we show how which will be the price? Can you adjust the schema, like on the left one, with like optimal configuration that you think will be good, for that type of website?
Sorry for interrupting and showing this AWS tools. Let's calculate price. For example, we need for big clients, we need this MySQL database enough. Let's build better infrastructure, not like just minimum or good. Like let's create, for example, Xlarge. It's enough for like thousands users per second. Redis, you cannot just scale Redis. This Redis works really good. Redis use only one CPU, and when you will select bigger size of the instances, for example, this one, you will not improve performance. You will improve storage, memory capacity, because these 48 CPUs, they will not work. Redis uses only one CPU to handle requests, and the smallest Redis always enough for Magento. If you need Redis scaling, you can do add new instance, for example, a separate instance for sessions. Like this. Okay, let's do this with separate instance for session, but for session we can use really small instance. The smaller one. Okay, we need for example 2 instances. It will be base configuration. 2 instances. Okay. size of these instances. X large here it's good. X large here it's large. It's also better to use X large for web nodes. Load balancer. Yeah. Okay. It has really good tool, and it's our big VPC. It's virtual private cloud. And we can add something. It should. Oh yeah, we have it. Yeah, we're adding all these elements of infrastructure to our VPC, and it calculates price. Yeah, this one price for this infrastructure.
But this, like, tell me size of the client. Is it sort of like Starbucks or like that type of size?
But yeah, it's for really big clients, but only one difference. It's base price, $500. For example, at night you will have this price, but during the traffic, you autoscaling will automatically add more instances, and but it doesn't cost much. It will be, for example, additional $100 per month.
Yeah, I get it.
But big customer definitely need admin as separate instance. And small also needs this. Let's return to the small.
Yeah, let's go with the small one. Client. But just so we're on the same page, small, it's basically customers who like 10,000 SKUs, 15,000 SKUs, 300,000 of traffic. That's what you call small.
I'm dividing clients by requests per second, because you can have millions SKUs, but you don't have traffic, and you can have minimal infrastructure for this shop. Let's check this price. Let's use AWS Aurora serverless with auto scaling. It will cost $40, and admin instance. Yeah, for admin instance we don't need C5 instance optimized for performance. Like if admin area like 200 milliseconds slower, it's okay for us. We can save a little bit money. Let's this instance, and it's $30 per this, but it's better to let's do next. We will have smaller admin. It's not smaller, it's just a different type of instance. Okay, let's do medium. It's good. The main parameter here, it's these CPUs. This one enough like for 1-2 admins. It also depends, like admin area and crons depends how we will use cron. Some stores has a lot of cron jobs and a lot of resources used by a cron. And for example, I had customers with hundreds of admin users, and for this client you need a bigger admin area. And let's improve a little bit web nodes for CPU. Let's do 8 CPUs. Yeah, and 8 CPU. What I can tell you that you will not save this on this type of instances. It's better to buy a good one instance. it will be like
Yeah.
$10
Okay. So
difference. Okay.
C5.
Yeah,
Got it.
C5 large.
Mm-hmm.
It's $60.
Yeah.
Okay. This one is small. We are creating new VPC to group our instances. Yeah, and what is our cost? Yeah, $300. But yes, 380. But yeah, but basically auto scaling from not auto scaling doesn't have big difference, but price of managing and of this infrastructure, it's bigger than this one infrastructure less has less problems, easy to deploy.
It's easy to deploy. Okay, so let's change. By the way, let's change small with the L at the end. Small.
Well, I cannot change it.
Oh, really? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So basically, one more stuff that I want to highlight here. Remember, originally you also put like Fastly in front of everything. So what's your opinion for Fastly, Cloudflare, CloudFront? What's like?
It's different, and Magento works for FPC, like for HTML cache, only with Fastly. It works only with Fastly because Fastly supports Varnish VCL configuration. Like you can clear by tags, and also you can specify your own tags and keys for caches. Fastly better, but it's a little bit expensive, and I don't like Fastly. If it's just FPC, like full page cache, for image and CSS JavaScript caches, you can use any CDN like CloudFront, Cloudflare. But for FPC, for full page cache, you can use only Fastly. You can use also Cloudflare, but it's another story. You need a lot of optimizations. You need to write your own solution. But PHP FPC has performance problem in Magento as in other areas also. But yeah, you can ask me if you don't like Varnish and you have good performance of FPC. You can ask me, and I will build a solution for you. I have one example, but I cannot show it now. I'm moving it to another region, and Magento FPC on PHP can be really fast. For example, this instance can handle 10,000 requests per second, this one single instance. With Varnish, you will have the same, but why not Varnish? Because Varnish also will use memory from this instance if you will install on the same, but I'm not recommending installing Varnish on the same instance because it's you should think about like services, microservices, and you should separate your infrastructure into smaller sizes than to use one big instance and have one big problem. If you have, for example, these three instances, okay, I have some problem with performance. Let's check what I have. Okay, I have instance, and I can check web instance. Okay, my performance like 8%. Okay, it's good, but RDS I have 100%. Then I need to check something in RDS and maybe fix some code. With this infrastructure, you can understand problem even without profiling, because infrastructure itself show you everything. all the problems. Also, you can enable performance inside RDS, AWS relation database service has a lot of tools to monitor MySQL database, and you can use the tools almost for free, like $1, $10 per month, or even for free you can use too. If you need just enable it, for example, for 1 week, it will not cost for you anything. What I would like to tell also that this price, it's on demand. But what if we will use these instances, for example, for 1 year? We can reserve these instances for 1 year. Yeah, this one with serverless, it's problem. You cannot reserve it. But with another instance, it's better. We can reserve it for 1 year, no upfront, and we will have 37 off. If 3 years, it will be 58, and no upfront. One moment, it's monthly. Yeah, this one our cost. Sometimes it shows not effective cost. Yeah, this one. And our infrastructure now $200. It's even cheaper than DigitalOcean. And the same for this infrastructure, because if client needs hosting, it will not use on demand instances. 1 year, let's do reservation for all the instances. 1 year. Yeah, RDS, it's better than serverless, because you can reserve it and save also money, and it will be better. Okay, we have our big infrastructure. Oh, we changed something. One moment. I cannot. Yeah, it shows 600, but one moment, we're having some instance.
You probably added sessions.
Oh yeah, I added a new session, but yeah, I added new session. Oh, maybe it calculates. Okay, but yeah, $600. I don't know why before it was
500 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can save 40% if you will have reservation. Yeah, it's
I get it. So just to kind of finalize with our clients, like in the viewers. So basically, guys, there's like 2 different versions. Decide yourself what's the best fit for your project. If you will have any questions about how to set up basically any of those, we can still reach out to Yegor. You can still reach out to us as well. As a quick takeaway, like if you are going with the Magento Cloud, I will keep the slides. It's very expensive, it's like 2,000 to 10,000 a month. With this infrastructure, the price will be, as you can see, it's about like $300 or something like that, and you can still have like savings. We also keep this slides will be distributed, so you can see a little bit more information. like what else you can do. It's kind of total cost that we just configured over here. You know, like again, like it's pretty nice that you can build it on your own. Some coupon codes from us if you want to build some extensions, etc. And eventually, you know, like, thank you so much for watching. I hopefully that was useful. Igor, thank you so much for your time. That was really visual. That was really amazing. I'm looking forward to keep touch with you and keep doing more amazing videos. So, I mean, guys, thank you so much, and then probably talk to you soon with next webinars.
Yeah, thank you for watching. I will send you, Paul, these screenshots, okay? This infrastructure, you can add it to some slides.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. All right,
Yeah,
thank you.
bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.